Welcome to the Vape-Out podcast. We have an exciting episode for you today. As always, we have a special guest with us here, Jesse Segarra. I apologize.
It's all good.
Here I am messing up your name right away.
We're good.
I'm done saving kittens.
So
I'm done saving kittens.
Yeah, and I'm back from Mars already.
So the Mars One program didn't launch.
No, it did. We went there. It's just week.
All right. Damn. Call outs.
So, sorry you can't beat Earth.
Dan successfully saved a total of 3 kittens.
Out of 72.
Hey, again.
Wait, what?
It took a
That's a
while.
lot of cats.
Took a while to get there.
A lot of them were already dead by the time you made it.
It's horrible. Apologize to the cat lovers.
Yes. But Jesse is a vape advocate and enthusiast. He is also a co-owner of Mayhem Box Mods.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
We'll get into that here in a little bit. We also have coming up. There is a event coming up. It's High Desert Vape Reviews presents Music Night. The whole main purpose of it is for vape advocacy and just a good time to get vapors together and do that. We'll get into that as well. There was a hearing in Victorville, one of the local towns in the area. We kind of want to touch on that and just give you just a real quick run by of what happened and kind of what's going to happen in your area if nothing else is done. And vape etiquette, some very important stuff. Everyone needs to be on their A game with that. And we just earned some breathing room with the governor, really the whole state of California, but I just wanted to say governor. Right into the beginning.
Oh, right in.
Jumping in.
We're back.
Head first?
Yeah, not feet first.
No. Real quick, I do want to mention that Dan is still not finished with the box mod, so you
I'm
still
not.
have plenty of time to go back to that video and
We had to make some changes.
watch it and comment on it and enter the contest
We
as well.
promise we will finish the box and there will be a winner.
Okay, so this is my first time working with a chip. So I wanted to point that out because it's taking a little bit longer than I expected it to. Just getting everything together and fit right.
It happens. Well, I mean, yeah, you haven't made one with a chip before. It's all a different setup and...
So I'm learning stuff as I go, pretty much.
Winging it. Hope it works when you get it.
Oh, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I'll make sure it works.
Just playing. Anyways, we got Jesse here. Jesse, how'd you get into vaping? How'd you start?
It was roughly 2013, March 7th, actually.
Dang, that's
March 7th,
pretty accurate.
2013.
time and everything.
Well, I know that because there's
7:62 p.m.
yeah,
62.
somewhere around there. My good friend Eric, he's actually the creator of Roki E-Juice. He's the one who actually got me into it. The long story short of it is I have 2 children, and the second one was born on March 7th. And when we were in the hospital, I was still smoking cigarettes, so I would go outside every couple minutes, smoke. And then every time I came back in, the nurse would kind of give you a funny look, you kind of smell. Then I'm holding my kid, and I had to change shirts. It was just a big process to it. So when that happened, I called Eric and said, "Hey man, I remember you had that vape. Could I try it out?" And he said, "Yeah." So he came by the house, and I technically used it for about an hour. And then after that, the next day, I went over to a shop inside the mall and got my first setup.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite expensive, but it was an Ego Twist and a CE2 tank.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah. And I upgraded to the Nova shortly after. That was an upgrade. So, yeah, I remember those things. Every time you dripped, you went like that and then took a hit. So to get that silica wet. And anyway, that's how technically I started. It was for my kid, for myself, and Eric's the one who introduced me to it.
Right on, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
That's kind of the same boat I was in when I started. As I wanted to quit for my kids.
Yeah.
Because I got 3 kids now, so.
That's what it was. And actually, a little side note to that is just Friday, I had carpooled with someone to work, and that person smoked cigarettes still. Ooh. And when we were going out to the job site, it's actually a female, and she had said, "Hey, mind if I smoke real quick?" I said, "Oh, go ahead. We got to roll the windows down, though. I don't want the company smelling all the cigarettes inside the truck." And she lit it up, man. And I'll tell you what, I could feel it. It was wild. I've never been that close to somebody smoking since I started vaping. Mm-hmm. And that smoke, it's intense, man. Like now I know before I was smoking, why people look at you funny when you smoke, or you know, everybody says the house smells, or even when you go outside, you still smell inside the house. And man, she was sitting right next to me. She was smoking, and it felt weird. Like my eyes started burning, and I could feel me when I breathed. It felt really restrictive. It was weird, you know. Plus that, and being overweight and shit doesn't help. so it's like, you know, so all that, I was like, wow, man, it was just wild how that happened. That just happened to me on Friday.
Did you have any hint of, you know, wanting a cigarette or anything? Nothing?
No, not at all. In fact, when I first started vaping, I'll be straight up. When I first started vaping, about 2 weeks later, just because of the curiosity part, I used to smoke American Spirits. That's what I smoked all the time. You know, that natural tobacco or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
No additive.
yeah, right. No additive and all that. I used to smoke those. And it was about, like I said, about 2 weeks later, I said, you know what, man? And I went out and I bought a pack. And I tried one. And it was weird, man, because, you know, I smoked for 12 years. And it was no thing. It's just smoking. It's just what it was. It's what I did, you know, social and all that. Even when I was playing, when I get stuck on raids and stuff, you know, just sit there. Fiance is at home. I'm like, all right, open up the windows. And, you know, I just sit there doing my thing. And she caught me doing that one time, too. But anyway, so long story short, I went out and I bought a pack, and I smoked not even one, man. I took about 3 or 4 hits of that. And I literally looked, and I'm like, what the hell have I been doing for 12 years, you know? And it was nasty. Then I figured out that anybody that I introduce vaping to, I always say, just do this for 24 hours. If you got a little vape setup, it's your first time, just do it for 24 hours and watch what happens when you light that cigarette. 24 hours later. All you need is 24 hours clearance, and that next time you smoke, it'd be like, what the heck? It's just weird, man. That's something that I've talked to a lot of people about, and they know exactly what I mean. So, but anyway, yeah.
I did the same thing when I started vaping. Probably a week after, I had a buddy at work that smoked.
Yeah.
And I went back to the dumpster area where there was loud smoking or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, well, let me have a cigarette from you and I'll get you back later or whatever.
Yeah.
And I maybe smoked a quarter of it and was like, I can't do this anymore. It's not the same.
Right.
Yeah, I gave myself a pretty decent gap, 4 years.
Wow.
Like after going 4 years without touching dip or cigarettes or anything like that, I tried dip on my most recent birthday, and I couldn't do it. I didn't even put a big one in. I put a tiny little one, like as if when I first started. Just put a tiny one in. I got super lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous. It burnt the crap out of the inside of my lip, and I was like, "Yep, no, I'm done."
Definitely crazy how much you don't notice.
It's true. Yeah, that's you can say that any more clear.
See, I can definitely smell it now, but
me too.
I'm on a different, like, when I first quit, there was a couple of get-togethers that I had before I moved out here to come and drink in, and I mean, didn't want to deal with the vape. It was still fresh into just starting vaping, and I mean, I smoked a lot of cigarettes those few nights, but since I came out here, I think I've had another night of drinking where I couldn't have my vape. I had one full cigarette, and then I tried to take a drag off my brother's cigarette recently. Well, actually, I did, and it really, really, really surprised me when it didn't disgust me. I almost should have smoked, or just took the cigarette from him and tried to smoke the whole thing, because I guarantee about a quarter of the way through I would have been gross, but I
haven't had a cigarette since that little 2 week gap. I haven't had one, man, not even a hit or anything since that day. So that's certainly the anniversary day, but it's just so crazy, man. Like you mentioned earlier, the smoking, you know, I did it for so long, I'm sure we all did it, you know, and you don't really realize it, and everybody keeps telling you, and you get defensive. That's what I did. When I would smoke, people look at you funny. The worst thing is when you're sitting there watching TV with your kids and your family, and then you got an anti-smoking commercial on, and you're a smoker, and it's like, damn. Because then everybody kind of looks at you, you know? And it's like, you know, but the crazy part about that is that now that I don't smoke, and it's been so long since I have smoked or even took a hit of one, you know exactly what they're talking about now. You know, now you experience it, you're like, damn. Even when I was walking up here, you know, that they have a little bar here. I could smell it even then.
You go from like liking cigarettes and pretty much being a poster child for tobacco companies when you're smoking to like, like the 180, like complete opposite of that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing. You like until you remove yourself from the environment, you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, another big thing I noticed about California in particular is that there's more people that don't like smoking here. Like where I'm from Michigan.
Oh.
Everybody smokes in Michigan, or used to. And
it's also kind of what it seems like when you smoke yourself.
Yeah.
No, I mean, everybody like every friend that I ever had smoked cigarettes.
Oh.
And coming here was completely different.
It was like me moving from school to school. Like, Phelan's only like a 45-minute drive from here. And I used to go to Toronto High School. Everybody dipped out there. There was hardly any cigarette smokers. Everyone dipped. Because it was easier for everybody to get a hold of and easier to use at school and stuff like that. I move over here, everyone's a cigarette smoker.
Yeah.
Just like,
So-
that's weird.
Every cast.
Yes.
So you would
Every
say,
time.
So you would say vaping saved your life
Oh yeah.
and the lives around you.
Oh, easy, and that's why I get a little upset too with these laws that are coming in.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to classify tobacco as vaping, because as a former smoker, I can tell you they're not the same at all. And that's another irritating part. It's
You can
just
feel the
it's not
difference.
yeah, you can.
I mean, 100%.
You can.
I remember the first 3 days or 4 days. I remember it was some of the worst mornings I ever woke up, just clearing all that crap out.
Yeah.
But after that, I never cough in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't, wake up wheezing. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, breathe fresh. I mean, it's amazing.
And another little fun fact is that Tapatio hot sauce, man, I can't have it anymore. I
remember you told me about that.
I swear all my life, bro, I cannot have
crazy.
it anymore, dude. It's
Because your
hot,
taste
dude.
buds
Came back.
It's way
yeah.
too hot, man. It's way too hot. It got so bad, like I said, when I got that one bottle, we went back to the store to get another bottle because I was like, man, they made this one wrong. And sure shit, man, I put on the tacos and I eat it. And I'm like, what the hell? I can't. To this day, I gotta like go for like the more Louisiana style, that vinegary stuff.
Yeah.
That's not so hot, like Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
I have to use that now because Tapatio is just insane, dude. It's just too much, bro. It's like,
That's how it is with my dad's homemade salsa.
Yeah.
I used to be able to chow that stuff down.
Yeah.
Like the salsa, I kind of have to just put a tiny little bit on there, otherwise I end up with
wild,
the
bro.
worst heartburn.
so yeah, there's proof, man.
So co-owner of Mayhem Box Mods.
Yeah, fiance's the other side. So yeah,
Give us a little rundown of what you got. Like,
okay, all right. So these are all okay. Minus the box part, it's all handmade, and besides the connector and all that. I got state certified with California when I was 25 years old as an electrician. I'm currently an electrician now. I've done various fields from the electronic portions as far as like alarms and stuff, and all the way on to like 3-phase generation, power distribution. That's mainly what I do now. So that I can honestly say that background has helped me, obviously, and any electronics that I do now. We were just talking about computer stuff earlier, so I was doing that, a lot of that too. But anyway, as far as the box, it's mainly right now, it's all custom stuff, what we do. So if you have a company or something, you want your logo on there, we do that. It's all laser engraved. Color choices. This one here specifically is white with a blue pearl. So that happens. They are dual 26-650 mods.
That's actually very clean.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. So,
Seen the inside.
yeah, they're copper lined as well. So that helps.
What's the label on the inside of the plate?
Oh, thanks for saying that. Okay, so this here is it's actually, all honesty, when you look at it, technicality is probably the most important part. This is all your safety features.
Okay.
It's all in here. Because we know that there's a lot of new vapors coming on the scene, and we have current vapors right now that may not know Ohm's law and some of the technicalities of vaping. Because how it is, a lot of people just kind of get into it, and then they see what
Well, a lot of
friends
people
doing.
don't know a ton about electronics.
Right, that's true. Right. So, we got into vaping to vape as an alternative, not to learn Ohm's law and all that.
Yeah.
But I do know Ohm's law. So there's
I've
that.
learned way too much more than
Yeah, you probably, right. So what this is pretty much your safety features. It comes on every box. If it was a certain shop, it would have their edition here. And then it right here kind of runs through about not leaving batteries in cars and overamping your batteries and all that. They also come with a little pamphlet inside, and that kind of runs over your safety and your warranty and all that. Anyway, it's all 12 gauge in there. It's copper lined and dual grounded as well. So something I kind of came up with, just doing electrical, grounding is really the most important part of the circuit in anything. So we kind of came up with a dual ground system, so in case one gets overloaded or however, there's always a safety. It's
That's
a safety.
awesome.
It's a safety part.
Safety feature.
Yeah, it's a safety feature. Just like
That's
in your house, you have
actually
a white
a really good
neutral and a
idea.
brown. Yeah, so it's something that kind of came up, and they seem to perform well. I like them, so.
they're pretty
But
sharp
anyway,
looking.
Thank you.
I
Thank
want
you.
to point out too. It's awesome. You have that on the back of that plate.
Yeah,
The
thank you.
information there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
amazing. Sigelli, a giant company,
Right.
or IPV. Sorry.
It's in a pamphlet that no one reads.
Right. It gets thrown away as soon as they get it.
Yeah,
And that,
That's actually a really good idea.
Thank you. And that, I've had being in the industry now, meeting a lot of people, a lot of different people, and everybody has an opinion. I've always been optimistic, open-minded. So there's always something. If you keep an open mind, you can learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
And when you get people that talk to you about electronics or whatever it may be, and they kind of give you an opinion, like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? You kind of get all that, and you get to put it together. And that's kind of what happened with that. As you just mentioned, a lot of people do take that pamphlet and they'll kind of just, okay, let me get to the, they put their stuff on and start vaping.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, it happens. I did.
How does this work?
Yeah, right.
That one they got to see it every time. If they're using that box, they're eventually going to read it.
Right. So this one it's stuck inside the lid unless you want to roll around with no lid, And then on top of that, there is a pamphlet, which I remember showing you a while back. There's a pamphlet that goes in there as well, just to kind of cover both ends, man. And the good thing is if people actually read it, they may have questions, which we have a website and you can always, ask a question or something like that. So, the safety is very important, man. I take that very seriously.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Out of personal curiosity, what is the price point on a box?
Full custom start off at $159. That's a full custom.
Well,
you choose everything. Oh, thanks. So it's you choosing the color of the box to include pearls and flakes. So like I said, this one is white with a blue pearl. I've done some where they want a white and then they want a red flake and then they want a blue flake with a gold pearl, and it's like, wow, that's a lot of stuff to add. But anyway, that you choose one engraving and you pretty much pick all the colors. You say, I want white wiring with a blue sled with a red voltmeter and a black switch. So you pretty much put it all together.
You make the box pretty much.
Right. And then this one here, this is the Vapors Unite box, which we'll be releasing soon. The big thing I'm proud of this one is, as you can see, it's the Vapors Unite logo and then the Mayhem logo on the other side. But $10 of every box. This is going to be $119 and $10 gets donated to Safada. So
That's very cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Try to help.
I don't know how well it works, but if you want to hold it up and give the viewers
sure,
a close-up of
So, I don't either.
I think you can kind of zoom in
Yeah.
with this weird way. Ryan, zoom in on that. Please. Once you're done.
That 4K camera, though.
No.
Oh, Ryan, like 20 minutes into the cast, 15 minutes into the cast. Ryan isn't here, obviously.
Ryan's here.
He's currently he's riding down the 15 on a quad, trying to lasso cars.
Hell yeah.
Why he's doing this, we don't know, but
Because Ryan.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the quad is a power wheel.
Oh my god.
I'm getting very fun.
Top speed of like 6
Until you lasso a car.
Yeah. That's why he's lassoing the car, so he can go faster.
Actually,
Is he trying to get home?
I think he's trying to get down the hill.
No. Okay.
side note, I've taken a power wheel. My niece, just being an electronics guy.
And you turned into a box mod.
No. What I did though is I took a 12 volt battery with a higher ampacity.
Oh my gosh.
And put it in the power wheel. It's
Nice.
probably not recommended to say that, but if you ever do that, it's pretty intense, man. They'll leave
Warning.
black marks on the concrete.
We do not advise trying that at home.
It's pretty. You know what you're doing. Know your safeties. But I did do that, and then left the plastic melted on the asphalt.
That's awesome.
That sounds like fun,
Can you make
actually.
one of those?
Yeah, you can't do it very long though, because that motor is meant for 6 volt, not
Yeah.
12.
No.
But it does work pretty well for a couple minutes.
Really? I mean,
For a couple
It,
minutes.
I kinda want
lights
one.
up, bro. It's crazy. It's like, this is wild. So,
Pumping wheelies.
Plastic tires
you
gone.
try it. Seriously, it's pretty cool.
Don't
try it.
Sister's got an old power wheel.
Don't do it. Anyways.
So that was amazing. He'll still be with us putting in input, but that's a kind of a
No.
general profile. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ramble some words and like throw some shit out, and hopefully you guys can maybe get something out of it. Anyway, there is an event coming up. The High Desert Vape Review is going to present Music Night. That is going on at Froggy's Bar. That's going to be September the 18th. It should be the Friday after this. It's probably going to be like the next day or the day or a couple days.
There is an event page on Facebook, so if you search for it, you might be able to find it.
Yes. Very cool event. All proceeds.
Or going to the cause of fighting for vapors'
Yes.
rights.
All right.
So it's we need that everywhere we can get it. But it's a great event. There will be some giveaways, but yeah, everything's going to help our cause, which is amazing. So thank you, High Desert Vape Reviews, for putting that on. That's pretty stellar. The Victorville hearing. Some stuff happened there. Actually, we kind of will go back to Spotlight on Jesse. We kind of wanted just a quick rundown of what happened and what that could mean for you and your home, or something. Again, more words that don't make any sense. But
Well, we have a lot of vape-related news today.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, this could potentially happen in anyone's hometown. Straight up.
So a quick, or I guess whatever you want to touch on it. I know I'm kind of just throwing you the ball.
No, that's fine.
There you go,
Yeah, we had a hearing in Victorville, California. There's actually a lot of hearings that are happening locally. You may want to check online and see what your current city council is doing.
Yep.
The importance to that is because, well, obviously it's kind of said it's important to do that, but one of the big things with that is that the city of in Orange County in Costa Mesa, they had something similar happen, and they were able to speak to their council members, and we had showed up in force and kind of explained the whole vaping thing, and they actually let loose, which is pretty cool. They understood the situation, and then they kind of backed off and proceeded to not regulate vaping like how they originally were going to regulate vaping. So that kind of shows what happens when you just kind of, speak your mind and
Step up a little bit.
Yeah, just step up.
when you're involved in the community.
Right, pretty much, yeah, well said. And in Victorville, we had something similar happen. The council kind of went in and they wanted to put out some memorandums on the city. As far as vaping, the biggest thing was they wanted to associate vaping with smoking, saying it's pretty much the same thing, and all laws that would apply to smoking would now apply to vaping. So we got together, met up with the council, and we said what we had to say, and we got some things out of there, but some things still remained. But all in all, at least we took action. We did make the paper, so that was a good thing. And the good thing about that is, that we made a difference. We did what we could.
Yep.
You may not always get the outcome you want, but the point is you stood up, you said something, and it was put in the paper and acknowledged by many.
We maybe got a little extra awareness.
And now they see that you're there, so they're going to think twice next time they want to do something like that.
Right. So
Hopefully.
Right. So
The biggest thing that bothered me about that is they allowed them to smoke cigars on the golf course again.
yeah, I know. Which actually got amended the second time. Believe it or not.
Jeez.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the memorandum actually stated that you couldn't vape in any of these buildings, and they were talking about vape shops. And, he had a conversation with the person who wrote the memorandum, and he said, whoa, I didn't even think of that. We didn't intend for that at all to happen. So there's things that are going to happen with that, but I mean, unintentionally they might completely really make it hard for your vape shops to operate.
When someone tries to regulate something they don't know about, they're regulating it the wrong way.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
And right now, especially with all the smoking and the tobacco, where they're at with vaping, obviously, is they don't really. They're kind of just taking the easy route, and they're just saying, okay, well, smoking's close enough, so we'll just throw in smoking.
They don't want to take the time to
right.
analyze and figure out, it is different. They do need their own category.
Right. So, when you go up to the council meets, when I actually spoke with the director, was actually after the meet, because after they had kind of announced what they wanted to do in the city of Victorville, I was walking out and I saw a sheriff there. So I spoke with him, and then he pointed me towards the director, and then I spoke to the director one-on-one, and then he told me to call me back, which he did. So that just, like I said, just don't give up, man. Don't give up. You got to make a stand.
Yep.
And if you don't, I'm telling you, a lot of laws are be coming in. You'll start seeing a lot of things happen in the scene. And, it's good to at least just get out there and say what you got to say, man.
Definitely.
At least you tried. The biggest thing is, you go in there, you try to do your best, and sometimes you may not get your outcome that you want, but at least you can look back and say you tried.
Right.
That's the important part.
That goes back to something I always say is if you don't do everything that you can, you have no one to blame except yourself.
That's true. Yeah, well said. Yeah, so.
And if anything else, it brought us more awareness. I mean, it kind of kicked us out of, or gave us a kick in the butt too, just realizing what they're going to do, what they could do for the other, because this is a kind of a tri-city area. There's two other cities. I mean, they're all right next to each other. But we're all kind of in the same community, and it definitely woke us up for when, Hesperia and Apple Valley come around for that. I mean, we'll be more ready. I'm not saying we'll be 100% prepared, but we'll be more ready.
Yeah.
What happens next door is always going to land on your doorstep.
Yep.
Yeah, they actually said that in the meet too. For any other tri-cities that are out there, or cities, with, coexisting cities next to them, however you want to word that, they mentioned it in the council meeting in Victorville that their intent was to get the other tri-cities on board. So, it already passed in Victorville, so now we're looking forward to to Hesperia and Apple Valley and all that, and trying to get
and maybe if we can get it kind of how we want it in those two cities, maybe we can eventually go back to Victorville, and I don't know if that's even possible. Be able to.
Well, the thing is we're taking now a proactive approach instead of a reactive. And one thing that's kind of mentioned, at least if I was a council, I'm just saying if I was on the council, if I was a mayor, and I was in a tri-city and I had made a law, right? Let's say with vaping, like we did here earlier in Victorville. And then the other 2 cities went the opposite way of me. That kind of shows the businesses that are in my city that they can just cross the street and go into another city and do business there.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's going to make them
important.
rethink it.
Yeah, so they may rethink and go, wait a minute, I don't want to lose any businesses, especially when it's just across the street.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally, in a lot of circumstances.
Right. So that's why it's important to make those calls. You know, get with your council, sending letters. You know, however you can communicate or get with somebody that knows.
Letters and phone calls. We say it every single time.
We
But
always
they're
put the links
so
below.
important.
Yeah.
They seriously make a difference. I mean, every day on our local pages. I mean, I'm seeing stacks of letters getting sent out, screenshots of phone calls. Going out, stuff like that. I mean, that's seriously what's making the difference. Us going there
It is.
shows them that we're there, but without those letters and phone calls, we'd just be 200 people standing.
Right.
Yeah.
And our assembly member actually in our area, he actually received so many calls and so many letters. He looked into it, and we were able to kind of show him the other side of what's happening, and he swayed his opinion to a no vote. So those calls and letters do make a difference.
They do.
We have other senators and assemblymen that we have received letters from saying, hey, thank you for showing me this, thank you for this, for allowing me to see the other side of what's happening with the laws, and they have swayed to a no vote also. So it's really important.
Because they really don't know. They don't
Yeah.
see our community. All they see is what the people presenting the bill are
That's
telling
right,
them.
right.
They don't.
And they got so much to do, man.
Right.
I mean, I can only imagine what it'd be like to be on the
Exactly.
council.
I mean, if
Yeah,
they had
so
an indefinite
many
amount of
things.
time, they could research every little bit of everything, but they don't. All they can do is make a decision off what they're told.
Yeah, it's even as easy as let's say you want to get involved or you just want to mention something to a council, especially if you're a business owner. That's especially if you're a business owner. It's as easy as just going to your local city council meet. Not even when there's actual meeting going on. You could actually drop off a letter to the clerk and just say, hey, I'd like to give this to the mayor, or I'd like to give this to whoever, just so he can read it, and they'll get that. And then when they have some downtime, they could read it. It's just like I said, it's a proactive approach.
And speaking of assembly members, I haven't had that much recess in elementary school.
Yeah, yeah, you like that?
I was watching the hearing and I was like, what is going on?
That recess should be passed on to middle school, so kids can still enjoy that.
That was intense, man.
That was
I'm curious
detrimental.
to
Not
know
getting recess
about
anymore.
other states,
In middle school.
like what's going on in other states, because we really don't have much of
There's
Most states are on standby.
Nevada has
CS.
stopped a bunch of their bills. Donovan pointed out, I don't know, I mean,
Do
can
you
we
think
say
all of our neighboring states are just
Well,
waiting by to
North
Yeah.
Dakota, can we say that?
Yeah.
North Dakota
Pretty sure
had a
they-
bill passed that said vape is not a tobacco product. I'm sure there's other things
Oh,
on the
really?
bill, but yeah. So I mean,
Then you got Illinois.
right. So I mean, really, right now they're kind of going all over. But California is a huge state, and if they set the bar,
The neighboring
we
states
are.
are
A lot
just
of
sitting
places-
around waiting and watching.
I mean, look what happened with even remember driving and texting while driving. The hands-free
Yep.
law. That as soon as that passed here, man, it just trickled down to every
Yep.
other state. That's
Well,
what happens. California's like the golden child.
and the smoking ban. The smoking
Yeah.
ban happened here. What in the 90s,
90s, I believe.
Yeah.
early 90s? It didn't happen in South Dakota where I was living until like 2007.
So yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
It's almost like California. Then you got New York, and they kind of collectively
Yeah.
just
Yep.
get on
Trickle
both.
down into everything in
so,
between.
one's got one side, and we got the other side. And they're just kind of.
But
It's scary.
but back to the assembly. Good news there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have.
yeah.
Did we? That's
Oh, we're not there yet.
no. Anyway, yes, we have some breathing room with the governor, California. We have until January until they come back from recess. So I mean, we kind of have some time. Some people might think it's a little bit of victory. It kind of is. So we can be kind of excited. But the main thing is that it's given us some breathing room. We're
Yeah.
able to. Get our stuff together and get ready for the next round. I mean, it's a well needed break that we need. I mean,
Yeah.
we need it. Need it. Need
Yeah,
it.
we
It's well
need
needed.
it.
So keep the phone calls coming. Keep the letters going.
Yeah.
It basically gives us time to prepare for
Yeah.
more.
Go to not blowing smoke. Even they got tons of info on there.
Yes,
for us as well.
notblowingsmoke.org. We can't stress that side enough. They have tons
We
of
actually
information.
had a lot of, speaking of the phone calls and the letters and stuff, for the last bill, which would be SB 140, when that happened, there was registered about 2,500 to 3,000 letters and roughly 3,000 to 3,500 phone calls made. And look what happened with SB 140. We were able to shut it down.
Yeah.
So that shows, man. I mean, when we stand in force, we stand united. We're pretty much unstoppable.
What are you doing over there?
I know that there have been some senators now that even when I've made a phone call, when I personally made a phone call, and I said, hey, I just want to cast my no vote. They say, oh, he's already a no vote, and we're good. They're trying to hang up on me because they've gotten so many calls. They're just getting tired of hearing it.
Yeah, actually, Ryan, that happened to Ryan too.
Yeah, it happened to me as well. And one thing
it's no, leave me alone.
Yeah, they're just no, hey, stop the calls, But it's needed. We need to do those kinds of things to let them know how we stand on the situation. And the other thing was, like I said, when you make that call, sometimes you'll make calls to, let's say, another district, which I have done myself, and sometimes they'll tell you, well, hey, you're not in our district, we can't register it. Have you called your member yet, or your senator? However, but the biggest thing is that technically, yeah, you're not in the district, but that decision does affect the state you're in.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. I always say, look, I understand I'm not in your district. I'm just outside your district. However, your decision affects the state that I'm in. And usually, and this actually happened. When that happened to me, when I said that, the lady on the phone said, you know what? Okay, all right, what's your name and address and zip code? And they actually took, my no vote down. So sometimes we just need to let them know that, Like I said, I'm not telling you to force anything on anybody, but
I know you're not in my district, but your decision affects my district.
which it does, yeah, right. It will.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's not forcing anything, really. I mean,
Right.
you're just stating a fact.
Right.
It comes down to this: is the people should dictate the government. The government
True.
shouldn't dictate the people.
Right.
So unless something's happening that you don't want it to happen, you got to do something about it.
Yep.
Yeah, the one of the and if I talk too much, just shut
No.
Well, one of the ways I always look at it, it's kind of a weird way to look at it, man, but it's just the way I feel. It's just my personal opinion. It's kind of like, because I work with the military a lot, right? And a lot of the military training, when you see it, they're very coordinated. It's almost not comparing it to a football team, but I'm just saying there's, football team's coordinated, soccer team's coordinated. And when you look at vaping in general, we have to stand united. When we stand united, man, I mean, people have taken over countries because people stand united. People have taken down governments because we stand united.
Ever heard of the Alamo?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Pretty much.
Try to throw it out.
Yeah, you have people taking over countries because of that, because the people they stand united. And in this industry right now, we need to be like that. We need to be united. We need to let them know what's going on and how we feel and how it affects us. And sometimes it's hard for them to register that because, like it was mentioned earlier, they see vaping and they just relate it to smoking. Oh, okay, well, it's the same thing as smoking. It looks like it, so we're just going to throw it in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to us to let them know that it's not. It's not the same.
Right.
So instead of posting a hand check every day,
There you go.
take one of those days, find a positive, or find an article that has something to do with spreading awareness about vaping and how it's not a tobacco product or not a bad thing, and share that instead. Get that out there.
Educating in a positive manner is a big one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't know what vaping is, and that's the public enemy number one, because they only hear what the negative side of it is, because a lot of positive side is small business, so we don't have the reach that the big government has.
Right.
So if you could educate one person a day, you're doing great deeds.
Yep. So instead of when someone says what is this? So instead of just keeping doing what you're doing, stop and try and take a minute to explain to them, hey, this stuff is healthier. It's I say this saved my life. Break it down for them. Kind of explain.
If they're
to them.
willing to listen, it's worth a word.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
And if they're not willing to listen, let it go. Don't try and force it on them, because there are some people that are just so set in that it's it's a big cloud, it's bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll run into that too.
Yep.
Especially if there's a child involved somewhere in the situation, like even if they're like on the other side of like a parking lot or something like that.
This brings us perfectly into our next thing, vape etiquette. I'm pretty sure we're already going to be going too long on this one, but who cares?
There's a lot of important
Vape etiquette's a must.
It's important.
Yeah, vape etiquette
is extremely important.
If you're in an area where you're going to tell someone's uncomfortable with you vaping, stop, go away, walk a couple steps to the side and vape. I mean, don't make someone feel uncomfortable because you're sitting there vaping. I mean, I do it all the time. Like, even if I'm sitting vaping and I notice my cloud goes in someone's face, they might not say anything or anything about it, but I kind of walk away because I don't want to cause a negative.
Yeah, even if it's in the shop, like still, we try to make sure that we don't blow it over people so it trickles down or at them,
Right.
Because it just makes people feel uncomfortable.
Well, even having the shop all hazy,
Yeah.
People walk in and
It leaves a bad impression.
Yeah.
If someone's just starting, they get kind of
Intimidated.
Intimidated, yeah.
I actually had if I can share, I actually had a situation I went this
Absolutely
recently. So
Brutal.
it was actually during this ECC event. Before we went to ECC, which was here in Pomona, we decided to stop and go grab some Dennys to get something to eat before we headed out. And this lady, older lady, and her husband and a daughter, she's probably about 13 or 14 years old. There was a group, because it's the Dennys next to ECC, so you know there's going to be a lot of vapors there. And there's a group huddled around the front door of Dennys, and they were all vaping, man. And I was like, oh, you could see all the clouds everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was like, we kind of just walked in on the situation, and we already knew. We like looked at each other like, okay, this ain't going to be all that great, you know? So we kind of passed through and just kind of let them know, hey, man, you know, maybe take it back a little bit. And right when we walk in, man, that lady that was with her husband and the daughter, that lady, I'm not sure if she only spoke Spanish, but, you know, I understand Spanish. So she was saying it in Spanish, and she kept telling her daughter, what is that? What is all that? And her daughter said, oh, I don't know. Well, why are they doing that in the front, you know? And this is something that's unaware. You know, so sometimes you do things you don't realize how you affect people. And, you know, we need to kind of understand what we're doing, you know, because that, especially during the ECC event, this is kind of what a lot of the politicians and the council, these are things they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, so...
It may not be a cigarette, but we need to treat it like cigarettes for now.
Yeah, for right now, I mean, you know, can you go to the side?
It's not even that. It's just
common courtesy.
Common courtesy.
If you're sitting down in a restaurant eating food, don't be having a cloud comp in there.
Yeah.
You're shopping for groceries. People are out with their kids. Don't be vaping in a grocery
Obviously,
store.
not everybody vapes.
Exactly. If there is a place that you're allowed to vape in,
Be courteous about it.
Be courteous, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, don't sit there and chuck clouds. I mean, if literally everyone else is, then sure, whatever. But
Just little clouds.
if it's half and half,
Even that's not even a little cloud.
control yourself a little bit. I mean, even just blowing it down makes a huge difference instead of blowing it in the air and letting it fall down. I mean, because it's gonna fall down it's gonna fall down anyway. If you just blow it down, no one's really even gonna notice it.
Yeah. I mean, we know because we're vapors and we kind of stay in the loop. Most vapors do. And we know that there are a lot of tests coming out, especially the one that just came out in the UK, with a 95% safer.
Yeah.
We know that because we're vapors, but a lot of people don't.
Right.
So when they see that, that's that perception that we're talking about. They see that, you see you do inside Vaughn's or inside Tom's Burger, something like that, inside a restaurant. They kind of look at you like, what's going on? And some people get defensive, like, well, it's just vape, leave me alone. But they don't understand that. They don't know that. So it's up to us to kind of teach them, and for now, let's just, keep it a little, you don't have to chuck inside the store like you just mentioned. Just wait up a little bit.
I did want to bring something up about the testing. I just saw a test earlier. I've never seen it before. Apparently it's an older test, but they got 2 of those little white feeder mice or whatever, the lab mice or whatever that they could do testing on.
That was horrible. I don't even want to talk about that.
But it's still showing.
Everybody knows cigarettes kill.
Yeah. They put them both in water bottles. One filled up with cigarette smoke, other filled with vape, closed the caps off. Of course, the one in the cigarette smoke suffocated and died, and the one of those in the vape was completely fine. Came out alive, running around, acting like normal.
I tried to kill a black widow with vape before.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
I've tried that too before. It doesn't happen.
I was just like, you're going to kill me. I'm going to kill you first.
I just think I try to scare it and make it go
You got
away.
lightheaded from huffing so hard.
Yeah.
Maybe D40 in the lighter.
Yeah. That's how I
Boot.
I always get this thing though, like when in fact, it just happened to me yesterday, dude. Just yesterday, this happened to me.
Really?
Yeah, Black Widow right there in the corner of the garage. Pick up my foot, and I'm going, well, what happens if I miss, dude?
Yeah.
Will it crawl up your
Luckily,
leg
they're not
or
that
something?
quick.
Yeah,
I had a dad moment the other day with a spider.
A dad moment?
Yeah. I saw this big black spider. It wasn't a black widow. It was just a big black spider, and it started crawling up the bed. My kid was sleeping on the bed. I instantly got up off my computer chair, ran over, and pulled him off the bed.
Oh, wow.
It was like, didn't even think about it.
Didn't think about killing the spiders. Just
call it a
like,
dad
gotta move the
moment.
kid.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Awesome. But just be courteous
Curious.
of your surroundings in your area and what you're doing.
If you're curious to everybody, then
If someone doesn't like what you're doing, they're going to view what you're doing as a negative thing. And if you're doing something negative to someone, they're going to tell the next person that it's a negative thing.
I think the biggest thing, though, too, is don't be defensive about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Be educational.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that don't know all about
It's so hard to do it, though. Even walking into a grocery store, well over 50 feet away from the door, take a vape, blow it out, and the wind takes it and, blows it. A very diluted cloud, goes past, someone, and all of a sudden they're,
Yeah.
I can't stand that more than anything. But it's not a chance to talk with them and do anything, then you just kind of have to let it go. But I mean, if you have a chance, you know, just to say, hey, look, you know, I mean, you told me about a study the other day that says when we actually breathe out vapor. Yes,
is that the Center of Disease Control? Did they actually posted that study, right?
I seen it. I didn't get to read the full study, but I did see that. Are you talking about where they said that
they basically stated that there is zero secondhand smoke.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that
secondhand vape.
Yeah.
And cleaner air than just
it's
breathing out.
Particulates of why can't I think of the word right now? The harmful stuff. Carcinogens. The particulates of carcinogens was less in a vapor exhaling than it was in a normal person breathing. According to that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive.
I know there's a little video. I posted a little. I posted it out on Facebook, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was a test, but it was done by just like a normal guy. It wasn't. I don't know if.
And he had a little air quality.
Yeah, the air quality. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty wild, man. You know, it seemed pretty legit. It's just a normal guy with this machine. It wasn't an actual company or business.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see it go down to, I guess, what I would call like a local level. You know, where just an average guy is kind of curious and he has access to machines and he just uses them and makes a video. And it was, if you guys haven't seen it, it was pretty wild. Maybe I don't know if we can do a link or whatever.
So could you say that it's a healthier alternative to breathing?
Oh,
in LA.
yeah, maybe, yeah, right.
Or here.
If you send us that link, we can get it put on here.
I'll send you a link. It was wild, man.
We'll try and get that video posted.
I got a
on
search for it too, and there's a good article on vape etiquette as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll try and put as much absolute information as we can in the links in here.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to be educated and educated and get all your stuff out,
a lot of those tests are, I believe, it's just my opinion on it would probably be because of the propylene glycol, the PG, you know, that they use in hospitals and all that.
They mix it with diethylene glycol, which is what's in antifreeze. But in the non-toxic antifreeze, propylene glycol is present in there, but
that'd be the eco-friendly. The eco-friendly antifreeze.
Stuff that makes it non-toxic.
Yeah, but you know, because they have plenty of data out there that shows propylene glycol. You know, that whole thing about it being pumped in the hospitals, which is actually true. They do run in hospitals. Natural, I believe, anti-germicide.
Yeah, it's in nebulizers, it's in inhalers.
Yeah, for bronchial inhalers, it clears the airway and all that. So I think a lot of that would have to do with that.
Yep, definitely.
So, but like I said, we know about it, but the average person,
it's all about letting them know. Ignorance is gonna kill us.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, my biggest thing is the vape. Back to the vape etiquette a little bit is: do you have to vape in a restaurant when you're in there? Do you have to do it?
No.
It's not required of you to do it.
Right.
You step aside.
So be conscious of other people.
Yeah, I mean, unless the restaurant says it's cool, you know, hey man, you guys.
I know, but do you have to?
Oh no, right.
If I go into a restaurant, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to bring my vape in because I need to vape in there. But I don't.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot different than cigarettes because you don't have that craving to vape as much.
Right, but at the same point, it should kind of be treated like cigarettes at this point, just because.
No, I completely agree.
I mean,
like air
people don't know.
And the side of safety.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, I'm gonna take the other route. You know, like you said, you don't have to do it. So
I don't know why, but this just popped back in my head, back from what we were talking about earlier, about smelling the cigarettes. You know, once you quit. I remember a buddy hangs out with me. I mean, all the time. I mean, we were good buddies, and. Once I quit smoking and started vaping, I still had friends that smoked cigarettes, and I'd be around them and I can't even think of it, just disgusted with how it smelled and everything. And I literally asked my buddy, I was like, how did you hang out with me for years, you know, with me smoking cigarettes? And his answer was, good friendship, whatever. But the point is, it blew my mind that, he didn't say a word about it ever, about how, and it stinks.
Yeah.
It's crazy horrible.
On the other side of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I give my mom and my brother crap for it all the time when I go down and visit because both my mom and my brother smoke.
Yeah.
My brother's deciding on, joining the lighter side of things, but my mom, she's forward in her way. She just, I'm going to smoke until eventually it kills me.
I think a lot of
people are like that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was before I quit. I wanted to quit, but I loved cigarettes so much. Yeah. I loved them so much. And to be honest now, like I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, this really, if I had a cigarette, sure it didn't throw me away from it like I thought I would when I had that drag, but so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
You get the actual heat feeling from it. Just everything about it. I love it way more than cigarettes.
Yeah, I know that when I was smoking, a lot of it was I got, you get defensive, man. There's so much stuff going on in the world, man. You go to work, and I'm sure everybody's got their work-related issues, especially where I'm at, with none against the military, but there's a lot of government and military there, and sometimes the politics can get a little out of hand. So you got that to deal with.
I know a lot about that.
Yeah, you got all that stuff going on. If you got a business, you're trying to maintain that, you're trying to get registered. There's so many things you got to do. Record keeping, and then on top of that, you get people, hey, smoking's bad for you. It's like, dude, just shut up, man.
Yep.
It's like, so you get I know I did that same thing. I got defensive, man. People, like I was mentioned earlier, you're with your family, you're watching that anti-smoking commercial, and you got a pack of cigarettes in your pocket. It's like, oh,
And everyone's like,
yeah. Then everybody just looks at you.
I did that when I didn't have a family, and I was sitting in a room with all my smoker friends. You just watch the commercial and go.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. It's like,
Change the channel.
Yeah, right.
To a lot of
See,
people.
my excuse was every time somebody asked me, like, why do I smoke? Because it's bad for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever their reasoning was, I would say because I enjoy doing it. That was my exact reason.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's like little ray of sunshine, like they may have had a crappy day and that's their escape. Their cigarette helps calm them down. It makes them forget about their worries and stuff like that. And then people are criticizing them for it.
Right. It's like there's so much stuff going on, man. Just leave me alone, dude.
It's because they tricked you into being dependent on it.
Yeah,
true.
I know. And
Very much so.
So with those kinds of people like we were talking about earlier, man, sometimes you will run into those heavy smokers. The funny part is well, I guess it's not funny, but something that happens sometimes to me is the smokers will give me a funny look when I'm vaping.
Oh my god.
I'm kind of like, this is kind of
I've
like,
seen that happen before.
Yeah, it's like, all right, man, that's bad for you? I'm like, really, dude? you got a Marlboro Red.
It's a little hypocritical.
Yeah, so whatever, dude. But, some people, like you just... I point them over to notblowing-smoke.org. That's what I do. If somebody asks me something, hey, that's this or that's that, I just simply say, well, there's a lot of testing to prove otherwise, and if you're interested, notblowing-smoke.org. It's real easy to remember, and that's what I tell people. So,
I've never been one to get super defensive about too many things. I mean, there are some stuff.
Yeah.
I try to keep an open mind for the most part.
Part of that too is the human brain wants to be right. No matter what.
That's true.
100%. So if you're smoking cigarettes and someone tells you it's bad, no, it's not.
Yeah. First step
I know
is to
better than
admit,
you.
bro.
Exactly.
They use that a lot.
Exactly.
So first step is to admit.
In anything.
That I'm wrong.
Yep. I think that's pretty much it. We really just had a very informative podcast. There was a little bit of bullshit in there, so you guys got your fix. But
We do want to thank Jesse for being on
no
here
problem,
and
man.
serving up
Anytime.
a dish of advocacy.
yes, very much.
Trust me, we needed it.
Yeah,
We did.
anytime, man.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, you're always welcome on our cast.
I like
so.
it. This is pretty cool.
Thank you very much for tuning in, watching us, watching our ridiculous faces talk about important stuff.
Oh, the back of my head.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy.
It is. It's better than the front because see the balding.
Nice haircut, by the way.
Anyway, until next time, guys. We do a vape salute at the end of every show. So,
Okay.
Everybody, until next time, vapors gonna vape.
All right.
Rhymes with.
Oh, wow.
What does?
Runt.